Hello friends, and welcome back to day 8 of our Polar Parrot Fish Fry journey. Whether you've been following us from day 1 or you've just tuned in for the first time today, I'm really glad you're here with us. This whole week has been such a fascinating story of life, growth and first time parenting inside our aquarium. So let me give you a quick recap so we are all caught up. On day 1 and 2, our female laid her eggs, and right away both parents began guarding them closely. On day 3 and 4, we saw the parents fanning those eggs carefully, and tiny little movements inside became visible, the first signs of life. On day 5, the big moment arrived. The eggs hatched, and we welcomed tiny wrigglers into the world. On day 6 and 7, things took an interesting turn. The wrigglers were there, but instead of being neatly clustered in one spot, they were scattered across the surface. The parents, who are still new at this, seemed unsure of how to gather them. And now, here we are at day 8. Today's theme is especially exciting because the wrigglers are noticeably stronger, they are moving more, twitching more, and they are edging closer towards that first incredible milestone of becoming free swimming fry. And for some, this has already happened. You can already see some of them moving freely. And therefore, this is something that we need to explain or we need to understand today. Now, let's focus in on the fry themselves. I mean, it's difficult to, in a way, look at them because they are so transparent, and in a way it they get camouflaged with the substrate in the aquarium. But you'll notice tiny bursts of movement, little twitches, tail flicks, and that's what they are practicing for swimming. Right now they are in what we call as the wriggler stage. That is, they are still attached to their yolk sacs, and that yolk sac is providing them with all the food and energy that they need. Now the yolk sac is slowly shrinking, and once it's completely absorbed, the fry will have the strength to swim freely. Think of a newborn baby relying on the last bit of nourishment before starting to eat on their own. Now these fry are building up the strength for that first attempt at independence. Now what's really striking is how small they are. Now each wriggler is smaller than a grain of rice. Yet, despite their size, every flick and twitch is full of life. It's amazing that something so tiny can already show us such energy and determination. And here's something unusual. Instead of being grouped neatly together in a nest or pit, our wrigglers are scattered around the tank. Now for most cichlids, this is not the norm because parents usually gather fry in one safe zone. But since these are first time parents, we are seeing this as part of their learning curve. So this whole process is part of their learning curve where they are learning how to take care of the fry. And it's fascinating to watch instincts in action, but also we can see that experience plays a role, and in this case it's clearly the inexperience of the parents really showing up. Now let's talk about the parents for a moment. Even though they are still learning, both are very attentive in their own way. Now when I say that they have scattered, the fry are scattered, or they have not gathered the fry together, one should not assume that they are not caring for the fry. Well, in fact they are there 24/7 looking after the fry. The only difference is they have made work hard for themselves. As I said yesterday, instead of guarding a smaller area, they now have to guard a larger area. Now the female can often be seen hovering close to the fry, fanning the water gently, keeping oxygen circulating and checking in on scattered babies. The male is more of a patrol guard. He swims back and forth, scanning the tank, making sure no intruder or disturbance threatens the fry. So even though they are not gathering the wrigglers together, they are still working as a team. It's their own version of parenting, the female focusing on care, the male on defense. In many cichlid species, we see that parents instinctively scoop the fry in the mouth and then spit it into the pit or nest. But since this is their very first attempt at raising fry, they haven't fully mastered that behavior. And that's part of the beauty of what we are witnessing, trial and error in nature. Instinct gets them part of the way. But true parenting skills comes with practice. And this is their first lesson, and every spawn after this, they'll likely get better and better. Now, let's talk about survival rates of the fry and the fragility. Now, you may have noticed that there aren't many wrigglers left compared to the eggs we started with. Now, that's natural, and here's why. In fish breeding, we see that not every egg survives. Some eggs are infertile from the beginning, others may get attacked by fungus, and sometimes, especially with first-time parents, stress or inexperience can lead them to accidentally eat or lose some of the young. Now, even in the wild, the survival rates are very low. Out of hundreds of eggs, often fewer than 10% make it to adulthood. And that's nature's way of ensuring that only the strongest and the healthiest fish survive. So, while the numbers are small, every wriggler we see here is a tiny miracle. Fragile, yes, but also incredibly resilient. Watching them survive this far is like cheering for underdogs. Every survivor makes this story even more inspiring. Now, what is the next big step? Well, it's the free swimming stage. And what's coming next is one of the most exciting stages in fish breeding, the transition from wrigglers to free swimming fry. Now, the wriggler stage usually lasts about 3 to 5 days. Now, during this time, the fry rely entirely on yolk sacs. But once those are fully absorbed, something amazing happens. They begin swimming. And this could happen as soon as tomorrow or maybe later today. When it does, we'll see these tiny babies no longer twitching in one place, but darting around the tank as a little swarm of life. At that point, we'll also see that the parents will adjust their behavior. Instead of just guarding or fanning, they'll actively begin schooling their fry, gathering them into a cloud and moving them as a group. It's one of the most breathtaking sights in all of fish keeping. Parents guiding their tiny children through the tank like a protective umbrella. Now let's dive a bit deeper into fish breeding strategies, because this makes what we have seen even more special. Now, some fish like guppies and mollies are live bearers. That means their babies are born free swimming, ready to eat right away. Parents don't usually care for them much, so survival depends on hiding and luck. Others like a polar parrot fish are egg layers. They invest much more energy in guarding, cleaning and raising their young. This is especially true of cichlids, which are known for their incredible parent care. And although polar parrot fish are hybrids, they've inherited those cichlid instincts. That's why we see this dedicated guarding behavior, even if it is not yet perfect. So here's a fun fact. Some cichlid parents will actually move wrigglers to new spots at night, kind of like a secret relocation mission, just to keep them safe from predators. All of this shows how important the environment is. Stable water, plenty of oxygen, and minimal disturbance are important for the survival of the fry. It's a delicate balance, and these parents are learning to manage it in real time. Now, watching these little wrigglers is humbling. They are so fragile, yet they are so determined. to survive. And even with only a few left, their parents' dedication is also inspiring. It really makes you think about the persistence of life. Even the smallest beginnings can grow into something remarkable. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever witnessed fry taking their first swim? And what was it like for you? And therefore, if you were in my place, would you allow the parents to raise the fry naturally, or would you step in with artificial methods? And here's another thought. Do you think first-time parents should be given multiple chances, just like human parents need practice to improve? Share your thoughts in the comments. I love reading your experiences because every fish keeper has a different perspective which enhances the overall experience. So we have seen that our wrigglers are growing stronger day by day. Although they are scattered, the parents are still watching over them. Tomorrow could be another big moment where they begin free swimming. So thank you so much for joining me for this update. Please remember to like, share and subscribe so you can follow along with this incredible story of life in the aquarium. So till then, happy fish keeping.